So now that the dust has settled, Micah Parsons signed the contract with the Green Bay Packers, also reported to practice for the first time in a Packers jersey this morning. I wanted to break down his entire contract in today's video. Obviously, he signed that 4-year, $188 million contract that was announced when the trade happened. And at surface level, you look at it and you go, wow, it's a ton of money. $47 million average per year. But there's been a lot of discourse on social media, especially X, coming from outside fan bases, particularly, and this is obvious, Vikings, Bears, and Lions fans saying the Packers just ruined their future in terms of salary cap with this Micah Parsons contract. And today, I'm going to showcase to you guys why, yet again, that's not the case, and why, yet again, Russ Ball is a goddamn wizard. You know, on this channel, we love to break down the actual contracts of players. We like to dive down into the salary cap, the future of the salary cap for the Green Bay Packers, because what's behind the surface level contracts that you first see that are reported, there's a lot of small details. It's the fine print. It's everything that goes into the legwork of a contract that really makes it all up. Guys, I'm super excited to be partnering with Sleeper yet again for the 2025 NFL season. And guys, you can already start making your picks for the upcoming slate of Week 1 NFL games. Go down, click the link in the description, use code BASS, B-A-S, when making a first-time deposit, and get that matched 100% up to $100. I've already made my picks. Matthew Golden, more than 40 receiving yards. Jared Goff, more than a half an interception. Jordan Love, more than 200 passing yards. And Tucker Kraft, more than 3 receptions. Guys, you can win up to 100x payouts when making your picks. You can also place in-game contests as the game is ongoing. And it's a $1 minimum entry for users. Guys, super excited to be partnering with Sleeper this season. Go check them out. It's not just a fantasy app. You can make your picks. You can get real-time updates and news and chat about your favorite sports teams. So again, make sure when signing up for Sleeper and going and making your picks, use custom code BASS, B-A-S, to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. All right, so speaking of money, let's dive down into the salary cap breakdown and the contract breakdown for Micah Parsons. Again, at surface level, 4 years, $188 million was announced during this trade. But when I went over in my reaction video, I already showcased why that's not necessarily the contract. So first, bringing up the team page. Right now, the Green Bay Packers, after trading for Micah Parsons, the whole contract being what it is, they still have $14.5 million in cap space for this season. They have a little room to play around with, in-season moves, maybe an in-season extension to someone like Quay Walker. They have money to play around with. You can see in 2026, that does drop to $10 million. In 2027, it's back up to $76 million. A lot of people assume that this deal is going to wreck the Green Bay Packers. And I'm just here to show you guys that, yet again, it's another Russ Ball masterclass of a contract for the type of caliber player that we are getting in Micah Parsons. All right, so let's dive down into the Micah Parsons contract. 26-year-old, 4-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, one of the best, if not the best, edge rushers in the NFL. You're going to pay him like that. And the Packers did. They did give him the correct contract evaluation, signing that 4-year, $186 million. That can get up to $188 million with incentives. $136 million is guaranteed, of which $120 million is fully guaranteed at signing. The new money guarantee is $112 million. A lot of money, no doubt. But we are getting Micah Parsons in the building. And when I first talked to you guys in the Micah Parsons reaction video, I explained that it's actually a 5-year contract because Parsons accepted the 5th-year rookie option at $21 million with the Dallas Cowboys. That was not going away. So if you factor in that 2025 year-end contract and the money amount at $21 million into this deal, it actually turns into being a 5-year deal at $41.86 million average per year. And furthermore, when you dive down into the legwork of this contract, you can see how it starts to shape out and how Russ Ball orchestrated this thing. In 2025, he has a very low base salary, veteran minimum there. His guaranteed salary is also very low, and his cap hit is extremely low for Micah Parsons. I mean, extremely, extremely low. $9.97 million, 3.4% of the salary cap for Micah Parsons in 2025 is absolutely insane. And then you might think, well, if it's so low then it's got to be high next year and in 2027. That's not the case as well. In 2026, it only jumps up to $19.2 million or 6.5% of the salary cap. Still a steal for Micah Parsons. Even in 2027, $26.8 million, 8.6% of the salary cap. You can see the base salary goes up about $1 million every single year. Of course, there's bonus options, there's per game roster bonuses, there's workout bonuses all added into this, and of course the guaranteed salary. But one thing I want you to notice here, look at the guaranteed salary. $1.1 million this year, $40.3 million in 2026, $34.4 million in 2027, and then nothing. This is essentially a 3-year deal for Micah Parsons, and then we'll see. I believe Micah Parsons is a future Hall of Famer. I believe come 2028, the Packers are going to do everything in their power to keep him on the roster. But it's not going to be at this amount. When you see these inflated numbers, this is the way contracts work. A lot of the times it's backloaded, it's inflated to rise that APY to say, hey, I am now the highest paid player at my position. In Micah Parsons' case, the highest paid defender of all time. But I'll tell you one thing for certain. In 2028, it's not going to be a cap hit of $64.2 million. In 2029, it's not going to be a cap hit of $68.2 million. We also see a void year. They added 2 void years, which accelerates into 1 year if he is released at the time of that void year. In 2030, the Packers would then have a $21 million cap hit when he's off the roster. But here's the thing that I want you to also take a look at. In 2028, say if for some reason this just goes horribly, which I don't foresee this happening, after 3 years, the Packers are out of this. They can get out of this contract. Now, you don't want to go into this thinking that you gave up 2 first-round picks, but in year 3, you'll have all your draft picks. The Micah Parsons trade will then be of the past in terms of draft capital given up. Year 3, you'll still have a very valuable and a very cheap Micah Parsons, who still will only be 28 years old at $26.8 million. Only 8.6% of the salary cap, and that's based on projections. This could rise up and up and up as the NFL continues to make more money and create more deals. The salary cap will likely go higher than it's projected here, and this will actually be a lower cap percentage in terms of the overall salary cap. But look at 2028 when his cap hit $64.2 million. The Packers could move on, save $46.6 million, and only incur $17.6 dead. That's pre-June 1st. If it's post-June 1st, they'd save $55.4 million and only incur $8.8 million dead. Similarly, in 2029, it would be the same dead cap, but they'd save a little bit more. Pre-June 1st, obviously, if the Packers did this in 2029, but really wouldn't be the case because, again, he's not going to play on this $64.2 million cap hit in 2028. What's going to happen is these 3 years are going to pass. There's going to be a contract extension, negotiation, restructure. We know how it goes. We know how the Packers and pretty much every other team does this sort of thing, especially the Philadelphia Eagles are very good at doing this, and it's why they have such a good roster. You're kicking the can down the road, yes, but you're also betting on the salary cap going up and up and up every single year, which it's going to happen. So it's not going to look as bad at this time when you need to renegotiate this contract, maybe add 2 years onto it, and then you can furthermore push out a couple more void years, add 2 more years of a contract, and then we'll see yet again in 2028 that cap hit will be somewhere around 6 to 8% of your salary cap, not this 20%. This is how backloaded contracts work, and this is how Russ Ball continues to negotiate deals. A lot of the time when you hear it's a 4-year deal, a lot of the time it's a 2-year deal and then 2 years of we'll see. It's the same with Nate Hobbs. Aaron Banks, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones when they re-signed him. And it's the same here. It's a 5-year deal, so it's 3 years, and then we'll see with Micah Parsons. Now, the one concern is in 2026, right? We have $10 million in cap space. That's not much money at all. And we do have some free agents slated for this season. You see in 2026, some of our highest contracts. We'll have Jordan Love at $36 million cap hit. We'll have Rashawn Gary at $28 million. Elton Jenkins at 24, which I don't see that remaining for that next season. You could see the Packers can actually save $20 million by cutting Elton Jenkins, and then all of a sudden, you're back up to $30 million in cap space. If you wanted to go that route, draft a center in the second round. Now that we don't have a first round, you could do that. Or you think Sean Ryan can be your full-time center, who is a free agent coming up in 2026. So is Quay Walker, Romeo Doubs, Rasheed Walker, Christian Watson, JJ Enagbare. I doubt they'll have any need for Enagbare with now Micah Parsons in the room, Barron Sorrell, Colin Oliver, Brenton Cox Jr., Lucas Van Ness. You get the point. Christian Watson might be a cheap contract based on how 2025 goes. Rasheed Walker, highly unlikely they need to bring him back with Jordan Morgan slated to be a full-time left tackle. Romeo Doubs, very contingent on 2025 as well, but we drafted 2 wide receivers in the first couple of rounds. Quay Walker, I think they'll want to retain him, but Tyron Hopper has looked like he's taken a next step up. We know we already have Edgerrin Cooper, who's slated to be one of the best linebackers in the NFL. So there's really nothing here that I'm going, wow, they're going to have no money to figure this out. They drafted 2 receivers. They have 2 receivers on the last year of their deal. They have a left tackle in the last year of his deal. They have Jordan Morgan. They have a linebacker in the last year of his deal. We have Edgerrin Cooper, Tyron Hopper, right? This is why the Packers are continuing to be contenders every single year, because they think ahead. They think ahead of these things. Even in the case of trading for a superstar in Micah Parsons, they're still set up to be okay with the money that they're paying Micah Parsons. Again, they can save a lot of money by cutting Elton Jenkins, trading Elton Jenkins. They can figure out center. We can go cut Elton Jenkins, save $20 million, sign a center in free agency for a cap hit in year 1 of $7 million and be fine. Like, that can definitely happen, right? Then we go into 2027. We're slated to have $76 million in cap space because that Micah Parsons deal is still low in 2027. Yes, Jordan Love's rises to $44 million. Rashawn Gary's at $31 million. Xavier McKinney at 22, which is insane, absolute steal. Aaron Banks at 22. All these, Zach Tom at 17, very, very manageable. And Elton Jenkins is off the books in 2027, which attributes to why we have so much room here. As you see, Elton Jenkins would be an unrestricted free agent if they keep him next year, which they won't at the value that he's at. Nixon will be an unrestricted free agent, but also 30 years old. Tucker Kraft, they'll definitely retain. Shouldn't be that expensive. Isaiah McDuffie, they'll likely move on from. Jaden Reed, I think they'll want to retain, but again, the Packers like to draft for the future. We could see a slot receiver selected in next year's draft. Carrington Valentine, Devontae Wyatt, both of which they'll want to retain. We have Dontavian Wicks, Carl Brooks, Lucas Van Ness, Luke Musgrave, Colby Wooden. There's a lot of free agents here in 2027, no doubt. There's a lot of them. And the Packers aren't going to keep every single one, but they have a lot of money to do so. They have plenty of money to potentially keep 3/4 of these players if they want to. And of course, this is all depending on 2025 and 2026. We have 2 full seasons until this happens, and we'll get a better picture of, retain that player, no, let him walk. We'll replace that type of player. So my point here is this. All the Vikings fans, Bears fans, Lions fans going, wow, the Packers really just screwed themselves. Look at that deal. And they're all just looking at it from surface level. They never go in and actually look at the contract. That's the funny thing. No one that actually says that argument actually understands how contracts work. And that's why I wanted to make this sort of video, to explain to you guys, hopefully teach you a little something about this type of contract stuff so you can rebuttal those arguments from your Vikings, Lions, Bears fans and go, you really don't understand that this is not a salary cap wrecking style of deal for Micah Parsons. What it really is an absolute steal in terms of draft compensation for a future Hall of Famer, a franchise-altering move that now puts the Packers in contention to win Super Bowls. That's what it is. It's not a franchise-wrecking move by any means. So just wanted to come on here and really break down the Micah Parsons contract, because again, I've seen so much over the course of the last couple of days of arguments and statements being made about this contract that simply just isn't factual. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I love this deal. I love the contract, and Russ Ball continues time and time again to cook in these situations. That's for sure. I really appreciate you guys coming by to the channel. Again, go check out Sleeper. Use code BASS, 100% deposit match up to $100. Leave a like down below if you did enjoy the video. Go click subscribe to stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers, news, analysis, updates, game live streams, game previews. You'll find every single week. Really appreciate you guys coming by. I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, go Pack Go.